Da-da. Da-da. Okay, he's pre-gaming.
It's interesting.
I gotta make a title sequence.
Yeah, definitely back. All right. We're back. We're back. In a very long
We're
time.
back. We're on time, and we're in time, and we're out of time.
We're out of time.
But this is just the beginning.
The
Welcome
beginning.
back to Golden Craftcast, ladies and gentlemen.
The
You're here with your
beginning of the journey.
hosts, Mansky Fresh, and my trusty sidekick, Sergio.
Sidekick. I'm not a sidekick.
I know.
I told you about this, and I
I
said,
just wanted to
"Hey,
see your. I just want to see your
hey, you want to
reaction.
do this podcast with me?" You're like, "All right." So if anything, you're the sidekick.
Whatever, man. I make this show shine, baby. And tonight we
Yeah,
have a
shine
good
fucking
one.
shoes.
It's late at night. It's 12:43. It's about to be 1.
I'm tired,
And we
man.
got
I
some
was waiting
crazy
for you.
stories for you. You know, when we started Golden Craft Cast, we were built on like, I don't know what the fuck we should talk about. You know, we said like all kinds of things, like, oh, we'll
We
just talk
didn't.
about
We were like, "Hey, we should like, you know how we always talk about we're drinking and
video
then we're talking
games.
about
Yeah,
video games and like movies. Like we
yeah.
should do that,
But
but
I think
record it."
this was one of the topics that we talked about that I mean, I think it's like a hallmark for almost all podcasts.
Yeah.
You know, at some point you got to talk conspiracy theories. And we did one
Conspiracies.
early on with one of our co-hosts,
Yeah.
he who shall not be named.
Golden Bolt. Just kidding.
And basically
I think I'd rather
yeah,
prefer
you can
Voldemort.
still listen to it. It was actually a pretty good episode.
Yeah,
And
it
we
was
did
a
our
good
research
episode.
then, and we did our research now because I spent over like an hour looking up all kinds of shit on my topic. So the last time we talked conspiracy theories, what was your topic?
I don't remember. I think it was like UFOs or something, or I think it was like Barney and Benny Hill or some shit like that. I don't. Yeah, I think it
UFOs,
was about that.
aliens.
Yeah, I think it was about that or something.
I talked about goblins,
Goblins.
like little small
You were
goblins that
talking about
crawl like
the um like weird coordinates, like the I forgot what it was called,
the ley
the
lines.
ley lines. There you go, ley lines.
Yeah,
That to do with
yeah,
latitudes and all that. But yeah, I guess that was all right. You chose a weird one.
yeah. I mean, that was the whole point, to be
Yeah,
freaking weird. So I went for it.
yeah. But usually with conspiracy theories, you would go for like JFK or like you know, um, I'm forgetting
It's
which other
anything
one.
controversial, man.
And it
You
doesn't
know?
have to be a controversial. It just has to be like outside the box. Like people don't really
Yeah,
talk about it, you know.
yeah.
But speaking of which, I want to talk about beers. Actually, the beer that I chose. So I'm out here in the Bay Area.
Yep, he's back in. Give
Yep,
him the intro.
right there. So the reason why we haven't done like an episode in a while is because I was busy with the move in, and I'm in the Bay Area, so I just checked out a spot today. Gilman Brewery, I believe. Yeah, Gilman Brewery. They have like 3 locations. Like I'm in one of them, and I go in there because I was interested in the beer, and they did a collab, and I actually got the beer. They did a collab with Cooperage Brewing Company. See, we got it, and
Oh, that's dope.
yeah.
Like
Well,
a
there's more
pink
to it.
dinosaur.
Yeah, it's a dinosaur and also like sausage. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So it was a really weird one.
That's
It's
pretty
called
sweet.
it's called The Struggle Is Real. I know it's in like converted and stuff, but
Let's see
it's
the
pretty
name of
cool.
the brewery.
It's from Gilman, but it's a
Does it say
collab with.
Gilman on there? I want to see the
Yeah.
logo on it. Did it come in a box or was it a 4-pack?
No, it was a 4-pack that they had
Oh,
inside the
nice.
brewery. Yeah.
Oh, cool. It has a
Yeah,
like little pickup
so I
truck.
wanted to try one, and I did a flight, and it was like 6 of them. The first one was the Strugglers Rip because I wanted to try it out, and they were like heavily, and then there was another one that were heavily like wanting people to try it out. It was I forgot what it's called. I have it in my
Is it a
pocket somewhere.
sour?
It was like a something frog, smuggling frog, or I don't know, but
Leapfrog?
No, it's not leapfrog. And I'll find it eventually. And I think it's a hazy, and it was pretty good. At first, I didn't like it as much, but then after I went back and forth, I just went back to it, and I was like, okay, this is good. I see why people are like. I see why the tenders over there they were recommending that to a lot of people. So I mean, it
Was it
was pretty
called
good.
Solamente Uno?
No, I said frog.
The frog one, huh? Maybe they don't have
Frog.
it posted up yet. I'm looking on their Instagram right now. Hold
Oh,
on.
okay. I don't know if it's on Instagram, but the can that I showed you, that's definitely on their Instagram because that's where I saw it.
Yeah, no, I'm looking on their website and they already have it on there.
Yeah,
But that's cool. Keep
yeah,
talking.
we follow them now. So I thought it was super cool. I didn't know about Cooperage because they didn't even. I asked them like, oh, like we could tell me about this beer, and then they told me like, oh, we have a collaboration, and they found out it was Oh, I got it. They found out that it was on Cooperage, and that's actually in Santa Cruz, I believe. What they said, somewhere out there. But they said it was pretty close by, if anything. Oh, the beer I was talking about is Frog on Bicycle.
Frog on
So
a bicycle.
yeah, Frog on Bicycle.
Nice.
I think that's a hazy, but that was pretty good. I really recommend the Pilsner. It was called like the One Eye Green something. Shit, I'm like forgetting. It was like a couple hours ago. So I drank, and then a bunch of events happened before that, in between that. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool. Definitely gonna check out more breweries out here and
How was
check
the
out the scene
vibe?
out there. It was honestly, it was when I went in there. It was super chill. There was like two guys in there, and then a guy in the front, and then I just went in the front, and like I was just sitting there with where they had all the beers.
Yeah.
And sooner or later, like, it got packed, like, really fast. It got really
Oh shit.
yeah. So, I seen a couple of girlfriends coming in, and then, they were doing their own thing, and then sooner or later, there was, like, a line. So, it was
Oh
just like,
shit.
yeah. So, I was there.
Wow, you got there
Yeah,
before
I got
it
there
got
before, like, it even got, like, pretty lit. And, I was just talking to the guys. One of them actually was, going to the same school as me, and then,
oh cool.
he's been there for, like, 9 months, and, Um, but the way that they had, like, the taps on, they don't have the
Mhm.
names of the freaking beers on there.
Of course they don't.
Yeah, so I was like, "Oh, shit," and then, someone that
It's just like number one,
yeah,
number
someone
two, number
realized
three.
that shit, and then they're like, "Oh, I didn't remember it." So, like, "Oh, it's all memory." I was like, "Fuck, man, I
Yeah.
have to remember that." But I think they also have a list, like, on the side just
Yeah.
so that they can remember that, so I was like,
That's how
"Oh,
you do it.
that's how you do
That's
it,
how the
man."
pros do it.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a cool little spot, I think. So, yeah, I
Well,
got
let me introduce my beer.
go ahead.
I got this not from a beer cave, but from another liquor store down the street. I thought it was kind of funny, and it also deals with space, so I thought that was kind of cool. But it's called Wesley Crusher Next Coast IPA. It's from Almanac. It's a West Coast IPA, dry hopped with Citra and Mosaic. Most likely bright, but check out the label.
Oh, shit.
It's like a weird cat.
It looks like the cat
Cause
from
okay,
Alien.
so originally I saw a Hellcat, like the Iron Maiden beer
Mhm.
collab,
Yeah.
and I thought that would have been like go perfect with my topic for today. But we already drank it, so I had to pick something different,
Yeah,
and
pick it
this
up.
was the one that I saw. And I saw one last pack of Dank Dust there. The
Really?
last of the Mohicans. Yeah, dude. They only had one. But let me see. On the back of it, it says, "Put your phasers on stun because you're about to boldly go where no man has gone before. This Holland deck worthy masterpiece is a laser blast of citrusy and tropical dankness, destined to live long and prosper in your cosmic consciousness for light years. Our stellar spin on a West Coast classic will have you saying, 'Beam me up.'" They really pay these writers, don't they?
I
It's like,
think it
"I
was
need
just
you to
one
make this
guy.
West Coast IPA. sound different.
Yeah. I think it was just
Let's
someone
put a
that's
caliper.
I think it was just one of the brewers that was just like, "Oh, we don't
Yeah.
might need to do that, so let's
A
just
Star
do it
Trek fan.
ourselves."
Big nerd.
Big nerd.
Well, so
You
are
have
we,
to
so
be.
whatever. Cheers,
Someone has
buddy.
to be. Cheers from afar. Oh, I forgot to get the sound effects. I'll get it.
We gotta make a list, man.
Yeah. I've been so busy this week. Mm.
Mm.
I mean,
Ooh.
I had this earlier. It was pretty good. I like this one. It's like
Describe the flavors.
it's solid. It's like I believe it's the hazy. It's citrusy. It's definitely citrusy. It's like really thick too. Um, I could feel like the bitterness is like right up there. So I don't know what the IBU is on this, but definitely like a good portion of. It's not like too strong. And
Oh,
it's not too like sweet. It's not sweet at all. It's like there's a bit of a little bit of sweetness, but it's like mostly smooth. Like this is. It looks like orange juice, literally.
orange juice.
Orange juice. Get your OJ
Feel like
on.
mine has a similar tint. Mine is, Simcoe. We know what that tastes like.
Hmm.
Um, kind of reminds me of a bubble stash,
Really.
but not as bitter, a lot brighter, more citrusy,
Hmm.
and just fucking straightforward. Fucking 6.3 on this bad boy.
Yeah, I'll do it. I like it. Num num num.
All right, let's get down to it, man. What's your topic?
So my topic is. Well, I mean, I think this could be like a technicality of like not being too much of a theory, but there's a theory surrounding it. Um, there's it's because there's like actual physical footage of this, and I'll
Huh?
get into it later on. Hey, where'd you go?
Don't know.
I don't know. He just went into the forest. And yeah, actually, my conspiracy theory involves a forest. In fact, it involves a grove, the Bohemian Grove. So I'm gonna talk about the Bohemian Grove. If you guys haven't heard about it, it is a space in between where a lot of the rich and powerful elites will gather together and get together and do some pretty fun, entertaining, interesting things together for like 2 weeks, and it's all boys. It's an all boys club for some reason.
That's weird.
Yeah, I know. It's a sausage fest all the way. And they pretty much
Misogynistic.
gather together to, again, rich and powerful to, influence the future of this country. And I mean, it's not only just like people that are from the US, also there's international people that go there too. And I mean, I heard about this like out of all places, like Joe Rogan when I first heard about it. And it was pretty interesting because I was just like, what the hell? Oh, of course. And of course, this is a secret society that people have been talking about for like a while, to the point where it's like not so much of a secret, if anything. And I mean, a lot of it like has to do with being like mysterious and kind of mystique, and then like the exclusivity of it all is just makes it all the more like people wanted to know about it and stuff. And this place is actually like located. At first, it was founded like originally founded in San Francisco in 1872. I think it was 1872 by a group of journalists and artists. And it wasn't like secret or anything. It was just like it was just a thing that
A place to go.
they both groups or like that one group just wanted to do out of like whatever, just for the sake of it. It was like a little club. But then like rich people, they were getting interested and they wanted to buy their way into it. So they paid artists, and of course artists need money. and artists took their money, and eventually like it just became all businessmen. It became all like people like of influence just going into those into that club, and then they kind of made it their own and they sort of took it over. And I think they were like they started going into like deep into the woods in like the Sonoma County area, and which is not that far from like San Francisco, which around that area, but it's actually like way up north, and I think it's not that far from Santa Rosa. Um, so it's like it's right now it's pretty much like a area that's like grown and it's already bought up, but it's like classified as like private property, and this private property is up to like 2,700 like square miles, no square feet, or yeah, like square, no, 2,700 acres of land that they have. So I mean, it's only occupied for like 2 weeks, uh, for about 2 weeks every year, and people go up there. People like politicians like fucking. I heard um Richard Nixon went up there, Bill Clinton, freaking Ronald Reagan, and a bunch of people from like the FBI, Secret Services, and just like all that stuff. And it's like pretty weird because like you know they pretty much have like this ceremony that they it starts off like um a bunch of guys with like red hooded robes, and it's a line of people just like going up to like an altar. Talk about the
You.
altar right now.
We're a bunch of
And
creeps.
yeah, it's like really creepy. It's like some occult shit. And you have some guys like carrying like torches leading on the way, and then like you have a handful of guys like carrying a casket, like a wooden casket, and inside the casket there's like a human skeleton, and that skeleton is a representation of care. Well, they dubbed it like care, and it was supposed to represent like the care of the world. So
Hmm.
they pretty much line up, and then they go all to the altar, and the altar is a giant owl statue, like in the middle of the freaking woods. Like it's like resided on like a whole lake. So you have like people just witnessing all this like all around the lake, as like they have like a high priest or some shit, and a couple people that are wearing robes and whatnot, and they're pretty much like the priest say they I'll show you a clip, but the priest is pretty much saying like some weird ass shit, like just weird straight up shit. It looks like a fucking show. Like I seen footage of this shit, and they pretty much like at the end of it they just burn like the casket of the bones, and pretty much representing like they're burning out the like the world's care of the dual care of the world out there, just like out of the worry, like not worry about that shit, not think about that shit. This is beyond us. Fuck what everything's doing. We are important right now, and it's pretty much super exclusive to the point where like they had a model uh which they actually got from a Shakespeare play out of all things. But I mean, considering like this whole altercation, this whole ceremony is almost like something out of Shakespeare.
Yeah.
So
Super weird.
yeah, so the motto is "Weaving spiders do not come here," which means like no real world deals or business deals can't be made here. Like that's outside of the realm. But I mean, this is like an event where like the super rich are coming together, and they're known to like
The
network
elite.
and meeting one another and stuff. So it's a little weird that they did that and whatnot. But I mean, the biggest thing that came out of out of this, and ironically enough, it wasn't like a big deal that everyone decided to do this as a one thing for the sake of like the US, but the Manhattan Project was actually conceived in those woods, like in that property. Right,
Huh.
I think it was right after like the ceremony.
Wait, what's the Manhattan Project?
Manhattan Project is the development of nuclear uh, warfare or nuclear warheads, which
Oh
eventually led
shit.
up to like the bombing of Hiroshima
Hiroshima.
in Nagasaki. Yeah.
Oh
So
damn.
yeah, that's the Manhattan Project. And while they were testing that in like in the 40s and 50s, this is like 1942 that um, apparently that's why it was conceived by one Dr. William Teller. And I guess he was just like laying out the groundwork while the property wasn't in usage because like all year around, like you they only use the property for like 2 weeks, and then for the rest of the week, years, it's just like private property. No one can get in, but you could still use it. You just have to have like permission, or, like
And
ask
to
someone
get
like,
that
okay,
permission, you have to be
yeah,
in the in crowd.
you have to be like in that crowd to do that. And actually, to get in that crowd now, there's a 25, yeah, it's like 25 grand initiative fee to get in, and if you want to get in initially, there's like a 15 uh year waiting list to get in. So it's a lot of waiting
What?
around and also a lot of money to get in. But
Damn, I wonder what happens once you go there.
yeah, but it's it's like really it's really weird. Like this whole ceremony. This is how it opens up. That's how it opens up. The ceremony is called um the cremation of care. It's pretty much like you're being carefree. You're taking all the care of the world and just saying fuck it, you know. And then all the super rich are like, man, well, I'm imagining mechanically, evilly being fucking maniacs in their own demise, or in their all
Can you just
agenda.
imagine like the kind of shit that goes on in there?
Yeah,
You know?
no, this is what the shit goes on. So everyone pretty much gets fucked up, but they also participate in like they also have like musical like entertainment. So you have people like having like campfire songs and stuff. You have a couple guys like playing the banjo, and you also get like famous people that could do like a musical performance up there. Like imagine getting that gig and saying like, "Oh, you're gonna play for the Super League." It's like, "All right, cool. Where is it?" It's like in the middle of the
Damn.
woods, and you're just like, "I don't know about this,
David
bro."
Bowie.
Yeah. So apparently Sam Cooke did, like actually performed there. So I mean, it's like, okay, all right. But aside from that, they also do like their own like little theater plays, and um, apparently the author Jack London actually initially wrote the play, but it never got staged. So they have like a different script version of him writing that, but they have like their own like I think it's an annual thing that they do the play. Um, it gets classified as called like the girl play, but it's actually called like um wait, let me the the high jinks. That's what they call it.
Huh.
Yeah, and I mean this place is so closed off. Like and nowadays, it's like the security is like pretty high,
You could
and
just
certain
imagine
certain
all the
people
cameras
like
that come up.
certain like people actually got in, like certain journalists got in, and then they went in there and they saw like fucking they actually saw the play and the plays and like whatnots. Um, they pretty much like I don't know, it's like kind of crude, kind of like immature in some sense. Like saying like, dude, this is like some type of shit that 11 years will like laugh about. Like I don't know what the fuck is going on. Like it's pretty fucking weird, you know. But I mean, aside from like one journalist, I think one journalist entered there like in 1989, and he quoted that and stuff. And I think a couple other had gone there. I think from Vogue or from some big like publications, and they said like, yeah, people get really fucked up. They actually like fucking pee out there in the fucking woods till like in the morning. And I think they said like some funny ass quote or like, oh, people drink and their prostates enlarging or some shit like that. Like I don't know. He was starting to be like witty about it. But famously, there's footage out there of the Bohemian Grove that got captured by none other than Alex Jones.
That's right.
Yeah.
The
And you
psychopath
could,
himself.
yeah, another crazy guy, but there's a reason why he's crazy because,
Because he gets
he
footage
tells you
like
shit.
that.
He tells you shit and it comes true. It's like, yeah, like, what the fuck? I mean, he,
So he caught video of this. How did he get this video?
okay, so
Did he take a boat or something?
no, 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 no. So get this. So I saw like a little, uh, on YouTube, I saw like I think it's like a History Channel show that they put up an episode like on YouTube and stuff, and they interview Alex Jones and they say like, "Hey, how do you get in?" And then he's all like, "Well, it was pretty easy, like yeah, back then, but now it's probably much more harder. But I actually went through the main gate, but I think he said like on the side he went through the gate and then he went through the swamp, and out of the swamp he made it up the hill, or and he went to like a parking area where they had like like pickup trucks where they pick up like the members and then they lead them on into like the main grounds. So he pretty much like infiltrated there and blended in right there. And I guess like he went into the trucks and he made a conversation with the people and blending in, and I think he knew some of the people there by reputation. And um and he said that by the time he went into like a security checkpoint, he was talking to them, and then they asked him like, "Oh, who you with?" And he said like hillbillies, and the hillbillies is actually like a nickname for like the Texas delegates. And lucky for
Yeah.
him, he's Texas. He's a Texan,
Uh-huh.
and those people are actually like um strongly associated with the Bushes. And at the time that he was there and he recorded that was July 15th, 2000. That was like
Uh-huh.
right before Bush, or no, that was when Bush was already initiative. Like George W. Bush was already initiated into like presidency.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, like, that's like, uh, it's ironic and it's funny and stuff. So he knew his way around there. So he's just like, oh, I know who the fuck these guys are and shit. And he said that okay, by the time he went into like the main grounds and stuff, I think he said he hid somewhere. And then when nighttime came out and when the ceremony was coming out, he got his camera and then he was like hiding behind some bushes or some trees for like about 2 hours. And then he just like started recording all this shit. Like just started recording like the ceremony, and um it's pretty interesting. Let me show you the first. This is just a little preview. You can see the whole thing on YouTube. I'll show you the link.
The owl is in his leafy temple. Let all within the grove be reverent before him. Lift up your heads, O ye trees, and be ye lifted up, ye everlasting spires. For behold, here is Bohemia's shrine, and holy are the pillars of this house. Breathing spiders, come not here.
They say in the motto.
So did they eat people at this thing or what?
I don't know, but I don't know where they got. You know what I was asking myself? Like, where the hell did they get the fucking skeleton?
What skeleton?
Because they have a skeleton in the in a casket. So I don't know where they got the skeleton. That's my only question. None of that.
That's kind of weird, man.
Yeah, and it's like honestly, I saw this shit and I'm like, damn, this seems like a fucking show from like Knots or something.
It's like when
It's
you
like,
go down to the people that, this is just, look, guys, it's a super elite club. We gotta show these guys some weird shit. We gotta show them something
exactly.
they've never seen before. That's the only way we're gonna get their attention and make it seem like it's something special.
Yeah, it's just
When you don't understand
y-
what's going on,
yeah, it's
it's
just like
special.
weird. It's just like
It's like
the
church as a
language
kid.
is, yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
you
you
know what I'm
know,
saying?
like I could feel like, yeah, people are gonna like not take this seriously and actually make this into an attraction, if anything. But it's, I don't know, it's hella spooky. Let
Now
me
it's
give you,
probably like a Bohemian Grove Zoom call.
oh god, wait, let me give you another little clip. Playing like weird ass music on this.
Time malevolence which would pursue us here has lost its power under these friendly trees. So shall we burn thee once again this night, and in the flames that eat thine effigy, we shall read the sign, Midsummer sets us free. Ye shall burn me once again. Not with these flames, which hither ye have brought from regions where I reign. Ye fools and priests, I spit upon your fire.
Yeah. It's so theatrical, just the way that they do these things.
Pretty weird, man.
Yeah, it seems something
If
out
I
of
was there,
fucking.
they'd probably be like, so, they'd be like, when do the strippers come out?
I think I think the locals know what's up, but they often like theorize like, oh yeah, they just go up there, drink, and then they probably have hookers up there and stuff. But I actually heard that on my research that there was actually like because they hired like employees for the event, just outside the grounds, not to get too close. And since this is an all like men exclusive club, literally like no women could actually go there. Like literally, like there was one female employee that was just like working in the parking lot and whatnot. That she actually, when she got closer to the grounds, there's literally a fucking line that says no women allowed beyond this point. And there's just shit. This just happening like in present day, and they can't. It literally has a sign that says like no women allowed. The
Girls
literal line.
allowed.
No girls allowed.
It's like written with like a marker.
It's like it's all childish and shit. It's like, oh, dude, and the R's all spelled backwards or
Damn.
inverted.
I mean, we're joking about it, but some weird shit probably does go down in there,
Yeah.
man. Like, who
I think
knows?
like I think they even said like um they know who's gonna be president, who's gonna be the
Right.
next president and stuff. Which comes to theorize that, there's a reason Hillary Clinton didn't win.
Everything is everything.
Yeah, everything
And
is just
then, like, think
everything.
about this. Like, if you know you're gonna go to that thing, you probably already have an agenda in mind and who you want to talk to and what you want to try to do with them, right?
Yeah.
Like, as a business, like, this event's gonna happen. Like, people go here to make deals or whatever.
Or people go there to like invest on like a certain individual and say like, okay, well, we got a good thing, that's a good startup right here. I mean, probably Steve Jobs went up there like,
But we could
we're
all make
starting
money
up.
off this.
You gotta make a profit. Look, the future is here if you invest the money in here.
They
But
all look at each other.
hmm hmm you can't have confidence without doing con. That's a quote from Mr. Robot. Sorry. Actually, like, kind of a fucking, literally like a clever line right there. You can't have con without confidence.
Yeah, it's true.
Uh huh.
It's like that new series where they sell Oxycontin.
Wait, what show is that?
It's called like Dosed or something like that. I don't know.
Dope Sick?
Yeah, Dope Sick. Yeah,
Yeah, the one with Michael Keaton. I heard about
yeah,
that. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
gonna check that out.
I kind of want to watch that one.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I know.
any
Anyways,
any final things on Bohemian Grove?
um, I will say that
Wait, isn't it next to a river?
yeah, it is next to a river. It's called the Russian River.
Huh.
Yeah.
So
So
you could go down that river during
actually,
the festival.
the thing that I was watching on YouTube, the History Channel show, basically it's just a group of people looking into things, and they actually wanted to get into the grove, so they actually traveled to the Russian River
Yeah,
with Alex
I think that's the
Jones.
video that yeah, that's the
Is that
video
what
that
you
I saw.
saw? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they literally went up there and they said like, "Well, there's no, it doesn't say there's no private property, so we're not breaking any laws, so we can go up there." And they went up there, and I don't remember finishing that video, so I'm guessing like they didn't really find much or some shit.
No, I think they like went on the river and then you see them in the red hoods and you see like
Really?
the big owl and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's
That's
what
where
I
I stopped
remember. And
because
I
I was
think
just
it's
looking at
but then I was
information.
like, is this real? Or, I don't know. This kind of looks weird. This kind of looks like it could be fake. You
Yeah,
know?
maybe they didn't want to disappoint people. Also, when you're like bringing Alex Jones as a guest, just don't want to disappoint. But oh yeah, okay. Well, I will say this: like, it does definitely seems like politicians and businessmen do go up there, do want to make like something exclusive for themselves. Of course, it's been happening for like since like the dawn, like yeah, since the dawn of man, literally. And
Burning bones.
there's definitely like yeah, they were also in that yeah, some of those people were actually in the Bohemian Grove Club. But that's a story for another day because that's another conspiracy. And of course, there's a lot of like secret societies, and even like John F. Kennedy actually warned us about like secret society, and look what
And he
happened to
got
him.
assassinated.
Yeah, so it's like he knew what he was talking about, but he was like a little too much that a group of these people, especially a group that these people that have the power and the resources to make shit happen, will fucking uh, will get triggered, and then they'll do something to make that shit happen, and it's just like it's just one of those things that again, mysterious and weird about our world, and definitely the 1% is out there, and the 1% could do just about anything, and it's kind of scary. And when you know about this, where it's like kind of cultish and occultish, um you're kind of worried about it. And, a lot of who knows what they've been saying up there, or what kind of things they're cooking up right now is just still happening. Like
The
it's the middle of
Ukrainian
summer. They always
war.
do it in the middle of summer, so who knows what they've been cooking up right there
Yeah.
during this year, and what's gonna come up in the following years after this. So
And then in August,
it all
war is
goes
happening.
down. Yeah. So it's like, shit. But yeah, this is my final words. Is you know the 1%. It can't be trusted. The 1%. They got all the power. The 1%. Of course, it's gonna be a little boys' club, but that's just how the world is.
The White Boys Club.
The little white boys club. I
Bring
don't
your
know. I'm pretty
best
sure they're
bros,
not all
buddy.
whites, but yeah. All right, yeah. That's what I wanted to do. Oh, also, I think I heard about this way before Rogan. I think I kind of heard about it only because I'm thinking that I was watching House of Cards, and I don't want to bring Kevin Spacey, that dude. But there was an episode where it literally opens up. He was like in a red hood, and he just lifted his hood, and he was like praying to like an owl statue, and then he just looks back at the camera. He's all like, "Oh, you know what we've been doing up here. You all know, but who cares? Cause I don't know." He just like, was making a commentary about that, and I guess the show was making a commentary about that too, just being
Hmm.
bold and saying like, "It's true, man. We're not gonna fucking hide it. We do this weird shit, so it's out and open." But I just wanted to bring it up because that shit was interesting. So that's my conspiracy theory.
They sure like owls, don't they?
Well, the owl signifies like the knowledge of the world, so bringing it up to like burning carelessness is just like sort of like a sacrifice, and them wanting to gain all the knowledge or some shit like that. I don't know.
Gain the knowledge.
Oh, the gorgeous. But also, owls are hella scary if you see them in nature.
Yeah, especially without feathers, they look like freaking alien beings.
Bro, especially if they start running. They have really long legs, like really long legs. It's terrifying.
They're probably the goblins that I was talking about last episode.
Yeah, that's why. That's probably what they are. All right, go ahead, bro.
Beer check. How you doing on your beer?
I wanna, I wanna
Any
continue
flavor
chugging
changes?
this my
I'm
orange
getting
juice.
more tartness now.
Mm.
It's becoming a lot more tart and mango-y. Getting some mango in there.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit more citrusy. It's not as bitter. After you get used to it, it's just like
Yeah,
become a little bit more sippable. But yeah,
yeah, it's
pretty
good.
good.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado,
Hi.
I'm going to speak to you about something I recently learned about. And this is how it came about. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I was walking through Target. I was looking at all the board games, and I see a board game called Horrified. Okay. And what it is like you're with a group of like legendary monster hunters,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to go around the United States and capture these different like creatures.
So basically, like supernatural.
Is that what it is? Is
Yeah,
that
it's basically like a road trip of two demon hunters going around, and it's not they don't just like defeat demons, but also like weird creatures and stuff.
that's kind of cool, but
Yeah.
this is more of like, I don't know, it's a game where you basically go, but the thing was it was like legendary creatures of, the United States, right?
Okay.
So I was looking at it, I was like, okay,
So like the Mothman in Jersey,
yeah,
or
it
okay,
was like the Mothman, like
okay,
Bigfoot,
yeah.
Chupacabra, you know, UFOs like aliens, and then the one that caught my eye because I've never heard about this before was Ozark Howler.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now, what is the Ozark Howler, you may ask? Well, the first recording of its history was in the early 1700s, believe it or not. Daniel Boone actually wrote to his sister-in-law during this time, and according to the tale, Daniel Boone killed a howler while on a hunting trip near the Platte River in 1816. I don't know if you know this, but Daniel Boone, the reason he's so famous is because he was a legendary hunter. He was trained as a hunter and basically was in the upper and all over the United States, basically like hunting shit. And then, okay, so I'm reading this from a website, ozarkhowler.net. And then it says here, one of the stories dates back to a letter Boone wrote to a sister-in-law living back in Kentucky after hunting trip a few miles to the north of what is now Cuba, Missouri in 1810. Don't get confused when I say Cuba. Cuba's like an actual place in Missouri. So it's like
Okay.
near the
Yeah.
Ozarks and stuff. At the end of this letter, Boone wrote with his particular style of phonetic spelling. He goes, I leave you with an alarming story of a black creature I found and wounded on the Cedar Creek, black and swarthy with horns up to its scalp. Ignorant of its own Niam, I am told of the sound it makes with a terrible owling in the night. Warnings, it goes, warnings of this for settlers should be passed along. Your honorable servant, Daniel Boone. He spelled like shit. Let me tell you that's why it's
Well,
so
you said
bad
it
to
was in the
hear. But
Ozarks, so
basically
it's like in
he
the
was
Midwest.
writing he was writing back to his sister-in-law a warning of like some creature that he wounded
It
near the Cedar Creek.
was crazy.
And okay, so this creature, let me describe it. He kind of described it in there, but apparently it's like kind of like the body of like a dog or maybe like a cougar,
Okay.
like a mountain lion kind of deal, but black fur. And they say that it has horns and that it has glowing red eyes. But this is the crazy part. What it's known by the most is the sound that it makes, which is said to be a combination of an elk, like an elk bow, like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And then like a wolf with a woo, right?
Mhm.
And then a girl's scream. So like almost like a like
Yeah.
giant bat screech all combined.
Huh. That gives an idea to like the sound effects guy, sound effects guys from like Hollywood.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh,
So I
there's the
mean,
sound.
I was kind of tripping out, and this to me was all new information. When I first started looking into it, I looked on YouTube, of course, and saw a couple videos where they were basically talking about like people's experiences on Reddit of like
Yeah.
just weird, like similarly sounding howls, almost as if they were being stalked. It seems to be like a predatorial type of creature that is like when you
Checking.
get too close, it just starts to stalk you and stuff like that. One of the stories I came across was a dude and his girlfriend, and I guess they went to go like hike around the Ozarks in a national park. And upon doing so, like the dude the whole time was feeling like something was watching him, whatever. It started getting dark, so they started setting up camp, and at probably like 11 o'clock at night, they hear this like they said what they thought was a girl screaming
Yeah.
like in the middle of the night, but it's like because of all the layered up howls and everything like that, like they didn't know what the fuck it was. They heard it off in the distance, and then an hour or two later, they hear it again, but they hear it closer. Yeah, and they're kind of just like, what the fuck? Like, so they like go ahead and they make sure the fire's on and everything like that. Well, eventually, like the fire went out, right?
Hmm.
And then later on at like 2 or 3 in the morning, like they heard it right next to their tent. And the dude said he was so scared shitless, like he felt like it was like near the tent, like he could have like pushed out on it to like push it out. I mean, people embellish stories, of course, but I thought it was pretty crazy that like this guy was describing it getting closer to him, like it was stalking him. This is one thing that I'm seeing in common with all the stories is it seems to like once you're near its territory or something like that, it doesn't want you to know it's there. It almost hunts you. You know what I'm saying? Kind of
Yeah.
like a mountain lion or like I don't know, like a predator would do, you know?
Predator. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the crazy part is is actually another person in history was actually really close to this story as well. None
An
other than
iconic.
Robin Williams,
Really.
aka Theodore Roosevelt, Teddy Roosevelt. You know, because he plays Teddy Roosevelt
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
museum.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Robin Williams. But basically he had an obsession with the Ozark Howler. So you know that whole story about where Teddy Roosevelt was like with the Rough Riders and they were like surveying lands and shit like that.
Hmm.
So so I got this from the ozarkhowlers.com. It goes, so you know about Teddy's days in Cuba with the liberation of the San Juan Hill. He charges up the Rough Riders. Well, one of his Rough Riders was a guy named John C. Greenway, and they were in Cuba together. They were really good friends. Greenway was super impressed by Roosevelt, and he told Teddy about the Ozark Howler. Initially, he was the one that, he said, "Hey, we've got this. There's this deal. It's called the Ozark Howler."
Wait. So let me
So,
get the deal. It's the
this dude,
actual Teddy Roosevelt.
yes.
Okay. I'm like getting confused because I thought like it was
Well,
Robin
Teddy's the
Williams.
nickname for
Yeah. Yeah.
Theodore.
Yeah. I know. I just because you open up with like, oh, none other than Robin Williams, Teddy
Well,
Roosevelt
I mean, when
himself.
I think of Teddy Roosevelt, I think of Robin Williams, of course.
Ah, okay, you got me
That's
confused because
just,
I literally
you
thought
know
it
what
was
I'm saying?
Robin
I'm just
Williams,
trying to bring it to modern day.
I
But
guess.
Yeah, no, it's definitely
People will
it's
know what
not
Teddy.
Robin Williams. It's Teddy Roosevelt.
Just to be clear.
Robin Williams just played Teddy Roosevelt.
Hmm. Well,
But anyways, this guy John C. Greenway was fighting with the Rough Riders. The two wizards explain Greenway was from Hot Springs in Arkansas, and this is like mainly where it's around. They
Mm,
say Arkansas is like the place, which I also think was Bill Clinton's hometown, and so he told Teddy about the Ozark Howler. And Teddy thought it was great. He even was quoted as saying it sounded like a bully, good beast that embodied the robust physical character of the growing American nation. And at one point, he was actually going to change the the eagle, the bald eagle, into the Ozark Howler.
I call
Yes,
horseshit on that.
that's what they said. All right.
Yeah.
So Theodore's okay. So after this, they actually created like a consecrate like a I don't know how to pronounce this word.
What?
It's concatenated order of hoo-hoo. So
Crunch.
the hoo-hoo was another
Quantitative.
name for the Ozark Howler.
Oh,
It was
crazy.
like that's how you would describe things back in the day. It was like, oh, if something was big and grand, it would be like, oh, that's hoo-hoo. You know, I don't know, it's
Yeah.
fucking weird.
It's weird.
But this is where it gets really weird. As if it was already kind of weird, apparently, the Order of the Hoo Hoo is like one of the oldest fraternal organizations in the United States. So for all we know, these fuckers could be going down to the Bohemian Grove and doing some weird shit because they existed before them.
Yep.
That's where it combines, okay? So,
That's where the
and
secrecy comes from.
two different presidents were part of this club, aside from Teddy Roosevelt. But
Pretty sure he was in Bohemian
it
Grove too.
says the Ozark Howler serves as the official symbol of the order, is shown with a tail curve to make the shape of a number 9. Original dues were set. Original dues for the membership of the club
Oh
were set
shit.
at 9.99.
Damn, that's a
99
bargain.
cents store. And for years, memberships were capped at 9,999 members. The order followed the old beliefs of the Ozark magic regarding the number 9 as a kind of hex for protection against the Ozark Tower. Teddy Roosevelt's membership number was 999
If you turn it
to the Ozark
around,
Howler.
if you turn that around, this number.
That's not the bottom of the deep pit of the weirdness that destroyed Theodore Roosevelt's obsession with the Ozark Howler, though. The two wizards explained that fundamentalist Christians were threatening precarious equilibrium, keeping America safe from the Ozark Howler. This is why they started also, they're thinking that they started creating national parks to
Mhm.
kind of enclose and let the Ozark Howler run free.
Whoa.
So like
It was an
they said
experiment.
that the Order of the Hoo Hoo or whatever, they were in charge of keeping the
Woohoo.
beast in check.
Yeah.
So like if they saw any, I don't know. I'm just assuming that they probably had a perimeter set and some people there that they would contact them if they started acting up or coming into their like residential lands that they would fucking like come down there and bring it down on the Hoo Hoo, you know?
Oh shit.
Or who knows what they were doing,
Who who
but
who knows?
the Who knows. That's
Who
right.
knows? That's crazy.
So another story that I came across was this one really sounded embellished. It was from Reddit. They described grass as long fingers through a meadow, and then all of a sudden it rained during the summer and created fog during the summer, which I don't believe this. I kind of don't believe this one, but I'll tell you anyways. Basically, this guy said that he's heard his dad, and his dad was like one of the most non-shaken people of all time.
Hmm.
That he knows of, like just like a just like not a scared cat or whatever, and like
Yeah.
grew up in a rural like farm where they had like 120 acres plus near Arkansas and stuff like that. And basically, he said that during one summer, when it was foggy and stuff like that, he would go out there and he would basically, he didn't take his rifle with him, but he would have the feeling like something's watching him, right?
Right.
and he would get that feeling a lot during that summer. And in that summer, a lot of like animals of neighbors around him were getting mutilated. Like shit was getting fucking chewed up, meat was being strewn around, cattle was being lost, dogs, cats, stuff was going missing, right? So at that point, like he was going through the woods or whatever, and he hears like this crazy ass howl, you know? And this is after him feeling like he's being watched and stuff like that. He described in the Reddit post how basically like the feeling of being watched was a good thing because it was like a deer was watching you, or some kind of animal that you might be able to hunt was watching you, an opportunity for you to catch them off guard and kill them, whatever.
Okay.
But the way he described it was this was like something that made the hairs on his neck stand up. Like he was really like scared about this, but basically he knew all this shit was going down in the neighborhood, and then that summer he started carrying his rifle with him, and then he started getting that feeling again. He got the feeling again, and he used this like old truck from the 50s as a marker, and like he hid behind the truck, and then he saw like this thing basically like he turned around and he saw like a tail kind of go through the bushes.
Hmm. Oh damn. Sorry. You still with
What
me?
happened?
I don't know. Little hiccup.
But later when he was hunting around,
Go
he
ahead.
was basically he got the feeling again and turned around. Are we still rolling?
Yeah, just keep going. Sorry.
And he turned around and basically like he saw this thing tearing up like an animal, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
And I guess it caught notice of him, and he like fucking got really scared. And the only thing on his mind was, I need to get out to like an open field so I can get a clear shot if I need to shoot this thing, or in an open field where they'll find my body, like if something ends up happening
Oh
to me.
shit.
So he started running through the field, blah, blah, blah. And the way he described, this is the embellishment that I'm talking about. He says, I don't know what it was, but I could have felt like there was like heat on the back of my neck, like there was like hot breath, like on the back of my neck, because he was
Yeah.
just like running out of there. But I guess he turned around and he shot at the thing, but the thing ended up like going back and like leaving and stuff like that. But that fool, he's like, he said that he's hunted like a bunch of different animals, mountain lions, fucking deers, elk, like foxes, coyotes, wolves, everything, and he's never ran from anything, but he felt like in that moment like all he could do was run, you
Yeah.
know? So, I mean, that goes to show that, like, I mean, this is something even from the 1700s, and it all goes back to like one kind of area. That's what I feel is interesting about the Ozark Howler is like, but Bigfoot has been there's been sightings everywhere all over the northern Americas,
Yeah.
California, like
Yeah. And he's been
and
exploited to a point where it's like a tourist attraction. But with this is something different.
yeah, this is something that's centralized like in an area, and maybe it's centralized because Teddy Roosevelt back in the day and the hoo-hoos
Hmm.
basically condensed the area of where it could come out and made it a civilization around this certain area so this thing could probably prowl or whatever you know so it was just like super weird to me that this is a specific thing, a howl that everybody hears, and it's in one area. It's not like everywhere in the United States. No one else is talking about this except these people, and it's just terrorizing this area, kind of like the Loch Ness monster, like Nessie,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. But now, the only difference is that the only reason Loch Ness is famous is because of that monster. So again, it's being like exploited and being a tourist attraction. Same deal with like Bigfoot. But with this, I'm saying like I don't know. There's something like way more weird about this. Because not a lot of people know about this. I didn't even heard about this until you just told me.
They say that it's a hoax in cryptozoology. They have this book about cryptozoology.
Yeah.
They said that it was a hoax, and they were tracked down to the University of Arkansas student who basically, let me see, University of Arkansas student who had made a bet that he could fool the cryptozoologist research community. However, stories of the Ozark Howler are said to predate Jason Uffa. In his new book, Chasing American Monsters, writes that many people have dismissed the Ozark Howler, but Howler sightings stretch back to the early 1800s. Lauren Coleman endorsed the book as highly recommended writing. And yeah, there's like history of sightings and like literature on this.
Yeah.
And people have claimed to have like built sculptures, and there was one actual situation where someone took a picture of one, but it later on came out to be like a hoax, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know, I just think it's super weird. They say like this thing is, like basically as big as a bear mixed with like an elk. Yeah.
All right.
So I don't know. It's
I mean,
super interesting.
the thing about cryptids is that there's a lot that were dated like back in the days, and then also like people back in the days, their stories seem to be like a little bit more exaggerated, and compared to like modern days where everything's like more logical and like makes sense, and it just seems like it's just there's a lot of like over exaggeration about like what this animal looked like, if anything. But in today's lenses, we could easily say like, oh, it might have been a puma or it might have been like a wolf, but they're just over exaggerating because uh, for some reason, I don't know, they probably like you did say like he had like horns like of an elk,
Yeah, well, like horns like a like a gazelle
like a
kind of.
gazelle. Well,
Yeah.
maybe like I mean, we all seen like Meadows Nature where they'll carry the fucking head of a fucking gazelle. So
I
I don't know
mean,
if they probably saw
they
that.
say other things have said that when it stands up on its hind legs, it's about 9 feet tall.
Damn.
So that's pretty fucking huge.
Yeah. So I don't know. They can't be like completely reliable on that stuff. But who knows? Like people just made shit up. I mean, like when people discover whales, like and you saw illustrations of that shit looked completely different from what like whales look like. And it's like, oh,
Right.
they kind of over exaggerated that. So it's like,
But I mean, how do you
but it's
explain
crazy.
howls of that nature when people know in the area what different howls sound like? Like what different,
Yeah.
Play the clip. I know it's okay. So we got this
We
clip.
got the
It's
clip.
from a YouTube video. It's pretty shitty. I'm not gonna lie. You could kind of hear it off in the distance, but the crazy part about it is you could hear other dogs barking and howling over this one very prominent howl
Yeah.
in the background.
Yeah.
Let's take a listen.
Here it is. Yeah. That was it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It
Yeah.
was weird when I first heard it. I was like, yeah,
Like there
that's
was a
definitely not.
yeah, there was like a different howl like in between that. Like during all those barks, it was like
Yeah.
I was
And
like,
then other people are saying it could be like a hybrid animal
maybe.
and shit like that,
Yeah. I mean,
which would
yeah,
be
there's more
fucking
hybrid
crazy.
animals nowadays. It's yeah, it's definitely weird that um I mean, aside from other cryptids like chupacabra and everything, like this one seems like it's you know, definitely from that area, and that area is only spoken in that area itself. So it's like I'm kind of surprised it hasn't been like exploited to death, if anything.
Yeah. And the whole hoo-hoos thing,
Yeah.
who would have hooed? Who would have known about the hoos? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like the beginning, that could have been the beginning of Bohemian Grove.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, stop trying to bring it back to my thing.
Well, I'm just saying, don't they wear like horns and stuff in the
No, they don't.
underneath
It's
the
just
hoods?
Reddit hoods. They're not weird about that.
Red hoods with horns?
There's no hoods.
There's no horns.
You know what? I'm gonna show you a link. Maybe there is horns, but I don't know. There's definitely
But you notice
priests
that's
and
always like
crazy
a
people.
weird thing is the horns, you know?
I think because it's
Who
like
knows?
devilish or satanic in that way. So
Yeah,
you know
maybe it's like that shit's a satanic beast. They call it the Hellcat. Um, what the national forest that supposedly it is in is called the Devil's. Let me see. Hold
the
on. Let me
devil's
do a quick search.
backbone, the devil's alley, devil's ass crack, devil's butthole,
The Devil's Eggs,
the devil,
Devil's Den,
the devil's anal. Oh,
Devil's Den.
that was a thing from Thor. That's called the devil's anal.
Yeah, like they said that they took a picture of this of an Ozark Howler and it ended up being a fake, but it was like it looked like a it looked like a picture of a scruffy dog, and then they put horns on it and a fake tail.
Oh,
Kind of funny
jeez.
actually, but then they got one from the back, and that one kind of looks real.
I
But
kind of want a picture of that. That actually will probably brighten up my day.
right here, let me see if I can send you the link.
Uh,
Let me show you. All right, I'm sending you the link.
cool. That shit looks fucking funny. Oh man. So the other day, well, just like side note, but I went out around this area and I went by a lake and it has a lot of like animal and nature preserves. A lot of animals
Mhm.
like reside from there, and then a coyote pops up, and I'm just like,
Yeah, I saw that. That was dope.
I'm starting to think like coyotes, they just own California. They were here before us, and they'll be here after us. So
Yeah, coyotes. Oh, coyotes.
you can't get rid of them, bro. You really can't. Yeah, that's
Badass.
crazy. Any final words on that? On your cryptid?
I mean, I I want to actually. This is something that, like I said, out of all the legends and stuff from the U.S., this is the one that I've heard the least about. But I don't know. I know Ian, my good friend Ian. You guys know Ian. Shout out to Ian,
Oh, to you.
Californian. Um, his family's from Arkansas,
Really?
so I kind of want to, you know, try to pick some brains and see if I could maybe get
Pick
Ian to tell
some
me some
brains.
or ask his cousins about it. See what they, see what
Yeah.
they think.
Oh, so yeah, you just found out about this like what, like a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, so I was just
Okay.
it's just super weird. Like I've
It
never
is
heard
kind of
about this
weird.
before, so it's
Yeah.
like I had to kind of get into it, you know?
Yeah. I'll be I mean, if anything, I'll probably invite you to his family's place and
Well,
then
I
you
mean,
guys
like I told you,
discover
we've
it
been
over
playing
there.
that hunting game, so I definitely want to go hunting. But if I hear that shit while we're hunting, oh hell no, bro. I'm running like
Run.
that other dude.
Let's run. Yeah. Which is cool. All right. Are we cool?
We're cool,
We
brother.
cool, buddy. All
All right,
right.
man. Well, check this out, people. You got a sip on this?
Yeah, I gotta sip on this.
What's your sip on this?
All right. Sip on this. Sip on
Sip
this.
on this.
So this is our section where we would recommend something that we probably watch or would want to tell other people about it. It can be anything, video games, movies, or any type of tips. So it's been a while, so I want to. I mean, I feel like it's kind of a little overpassed because everyone kind of got the trend of it. But like this year, I always had a good feeling about this year, especially for movies. I mean, we got a movie about like alternate universes. This is actually good. We got a Jordan Peele movie. We got a good Batman movie. But this year we got a fucking decent Predator movie. and it's called
Yes.
Prey.
Oh my
I was
god.
just, the whole time you were talking about like the your cryptid story, I was thinking about like the Predator, and I was like, is it the Predator?
Could be shit.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the Predator is a bit different. It's more methodical and just it's cool. But what I like about this movie is that um, it's set into the 1700s, and it's like this its first interaction with like humans, and you could tell, you know. And I like the way that it was just finding its way into like the top food chain. So it was like fucking around with different predators, and it was just trying to like see like how it functions, and then taking them as trophies. And that's something interesting that I never saw, because in the original Predator, it was just like stalking like you know the most machismo men out there, the fucking commandos. Like they just took down like a whole squad out there in the village, and then they pretty much not conquer, but pretty much like did their mission, and they were like the best of the best, and then now they were up with like the Predator and stuff. And I really like that. It was similar to the roots of like that first movie. Only the difference is like they were going against like the Native Americans, which is interesting because in the original movie there was actually a Native American that was in the movie, and he kind of sensed the Predator. And a lot of people were theorizing like, oh, like his people actually came in contact with the Predator, so that's why he kind of had like that
That
sense that he
sense.
was there, or that
Hmm.
that intuition and
That's
whatnot.
interesting.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, that's a good take. There's also like a Predator 2 Easter egg, which I will not talk about that, but it was definitely interesting to see like um people well, pretty much like taking it down to like a primitive instinct, if anything, having to just use your wits and your bows and your environment to like take down the Predator. Because at the end of the day, in the first movie, like Arnold, he went up against that fool without any guns or anything. He used his wits and his natural environment and took down the Predator. So it was like, oh, so he just used primal human instincts to pretty much overtake like something that was just like out of this world. So, you know, it was cool to see that. It was cool to see something that was different. It's not the best Predator, but it was fucking decent. I wouldn't say it's bad.
I heard
So
this whole
go watch
thing
that shit.
about that's what all if they're gonna make new movies of like Hellraiser and like revamp all the old movies, they should do it like back in the day. If it was
Yeah.
ancient times
Bro,
dealing
if you were
with
gonna do a Hellraiser, I would do it like in the fucking Victorian
Egyptian
ages.
times,
Victorian
Victorian,
ages.
that'd be kind of dope.
Because the
That'd be
Victorian
really
ages were like, everyone was like sexually repressed. So it's like kind of Hellraiser is about that. It's like sexual repression, all that weird shit, or fetishism or whatnot. So it'll probably
true,
be
huh?
like a interesting take to do that. So
Huh.
yeah, the possibilities are open. Just saying.
That was a good one. That was a
Yeah,
good pick, man.
yeah.
Honestly, in the back of my mind, that's what I was kind of thinking. My check this out, bro. Okay, so mine is actually also on Hulu. Hulu is kicking ass right now, by the way. I don't know if you guys have been on it, but
I got
Hulu
another
has been
tidbit,
coming
but
with some.
go right after.
But my sip on this is a series that I've been watching, well that I finished
Yeah.
first season of called This Fool. And let me tell you, bro,
Yeah,
I
I
don't know
also watched that
why,
too.
but that fool reminds me of Jose so much.
Who, his cousin?
Yeah,
Oh God, yeah,
you see it, right?
yeah. I kind of see
They're
it.
like
Yeah,
in South Central, but it's basically like it's called This Fool, and it's basically like one of the cousins is a member of the society in LA. He works with a nonprofit, Hugs Not Thugs, and basically like they teach the guys how to bake and stuff. They sell the goods to Northgate Market,
yeah.
and none other than Chris Moltisanti. What's the actor's name?
Um, shit, I forgot.
But
Oh, come to me.
basically,
Yeah, go ahead.
basically, he goes and he picks up his cousin, from prison.
Who's gonna look it up?
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
Yeah. So it I think the one thing you're just missing is that this is based off a comedian Eric Chris Estrada, who's the main guy, and he has a whole bit about saying like, oh, the statistic of a Hispanic male living in like East LA is 25. As well, a thug is like 25 years old, but as a punk ass bitch like me, I'll live up to like 79 years old.
He's like, but a pussy bitch like me, life expectancy, 76 years old. But he made, dude, a lot of crazy shit happens. It's really unexpected.
Yeah.
But if you're Hispanic and you don't have to read the subtitles, it makes it so much more funny because it's like you know exactly what like, oh, no tienes cara de pendejo, like you don't have like face
Yeah.
like an idiot, you know what that's what it says on the bottom, but it doesn't translate the same, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's just like little stuff like that. One of the funniest episodes was The Devil Made Me Do It, where like the gangster cousin, he's in the process of like going and asking for forgiveness from all the people that he like fucked with in the past, right?
Yeah. Total my
And
name is
then
Zorro moment. Yeah.
basically something happens and the sister like well he goes and he apologizes to the dude. The dude tells him like, dude, I forgive you, homie, but you know what? It wasn't you that did that. It was the devil. The devil made you do it. And he's like, huh, the
Right,
devil
because he
made
was
me
yeah,
do it.
because he's a
No, so he
minister
goes
too.
on for like weeks. He starts like
Yeah.
this whole thing about like I've done nothing wrong, but the devil made me do it. You know what I'm saying? And then basically like they go around trying to find a padrino for like one of the his sister's kids.
Yeah.
And he's like he tells the kid, he's like, don't worry, he's like, if you ever like lay farts or you fart on your brother's head or whatever, don't worry, because the devil made you do it. So then this little kid just starts going around and like he does his first communion and the priest gives him the Eucharist and then he bites his finger and he goes, the devil made me do it.
It's an ongoing joke. That's funny.
It was pretty funny, dude. That was a
Uh,
really freaking good episode. I didn't see
yeah,
that
I thought
shit
you were
coming,
gonna
but
talk about like that episode where the whole thing with his ex. He was
well,
trying to get
that's
the
like an
ring.
ongoing thing in the whole series.
Is
Like
it?
that's like one of the main plot points. Yeah.
Oh, so it
I
keeps
thought it
going.
wasn't gonna be a big deal, but it is one of the main plot points of the whole series, and
Oh,
it's
that's
like
crazy.
it's really cool how it builds up because
Yeah.
it's like real shit that happens, you know. And
Yeah,
it's just funny because
it's
like
funny and over exaggerating in some
yeah,
sense.
exactly. It's over
Yeah.
exaggerated in some parts, but it's like the way they bag on each other and the comedy that they bring up. Like they talk about Austin Powers, like it's just fucking wild.
Just
It's
like
just like,
random ass
and then
shit.
it's crazy because he, the cousin. Long story short, the cousin basically makes a reference to Austin Powers. He's like, in a way I see it, I'm kind of like Austin Powers. They're like, oh, here we go again. He's like, no. He's like, cause think about it. He was frozen in ice for all that long time. That's how I felt when I was in prison. So he's like trying to connect the dots and shit like that. And it's just like, it's funny, dude. I would really recommend it. I mean, it's not for everybody, but if you get the humor and you don't need to read the subtitles, like it's gonna be that much more funny
Yeah.
and really diverse, all POC, literally the whole way. The only one that is a white person is probably Chris Moltisanti,
Michael
which is
Imperioli.
Michael
There
Imperioli,
you go.
and then the dude
I didn't have to
from
look it up.
Fred Armisen's in it
Really?
in one of the episodes.
Huh.
Yes, dude.
Oh shit.
It's super weird, but he's totally in it.
All right.
Really freaking funny.
If
That's my tip on
Armison's
it.
in it, then I'm gonna continue watching it, so I'm
It's good.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like an ABC Family series or something. I don't know.
I think it's a Hulu thing. It's just
Yeah,
exclusive for Hulu.
it's on Hulu, but ABC Family is releasing or ABC is releasing it.
Really?
Like
ABC
ABC series
Family?
is releasing it. I don't know if it's a new thing.
What the fuck? That's weird.
Yeah.
Is it Freeform?
No.
It's ABC Family. That's so weird. Because they later say fuck like so many times.
Yeah, they do. They cuss a lot.
He cusses a
They cuss a
lot.
lot in that movie.
The show.
But it's like,
Yeah.
let me see. I'm looking on IMDb right now. It's on. They have one of the episodes called Putazos.
Picasso. Yeah, that's something Jose would say. I got you over there and get you in those putazos, man.
Yeah. Dude, honestly, this whole month in Hulu has been kicking ass.
Yeah. Yeah,
Prey
Hulu's
came
been
out.
pretty surprising. I would say just I don't want to like be the Debbie Downer on things, but I had to come into the awareness that I was aware, like for me personally, I was aware that there was gonna be a Mike Tyson movie, and all of a sudden there
Right.
was like advertising for a Hulu series on Mike Tyson, and I was like, what? And Jamie Foxx was set to like play this. Just look it up.
Yeah. No,
And
I see
Mike
it.
Tyson actually spoke up and he said like, "Hey, don't be watching that Hulu shit because I actually haven't okayed it. They don't have any authorization." And he kind of claimed it like, "Oh, don't show um that slave master's version of my life onto like the TV series. I have nothing to do with this." And
Wow.
even like he said like, "Oh, my man Dana White, UFC president, had been offered like to be assistant to that production for one reason or another, and he denied it because he respected Mike that much, and he said like, "Don't, he wasn't gonna be a part of it." So there's also that controversy going on with like Hulu and Mike Tyson going on. So I'm just like, oh, Hulu's been good, but then like they've been doing that shit too. So it's like kind of I'm a little mixed on that, so I'm not too sure what's going on in that situation, but I just wanted to bring that to the awareness. So I guess that's another tidbit or, you know, a little sip on this, on that.
Yeah.
You see it? Yeah, because I remember like specifically like, okay, well, I wasn't expecting a series. I was expecting a fucking movie out of it with like Jamie Foxx to play Tyson on that. So I don't know. I don't know what made them fucking make that series, or I don't know what's going on as of
Wait,
now.
Chris Estrada? Oh shit! I'm just learning that Chris Estrada is a
Yeah,
comedian.
he's a comedian.
Like,
That's what
I
I
need to
said.
listen to stand up now.
Yeah,
That got me
that's his
interested.
old bit. Like, oh, like an average expectancy of a thug is 29. The expectancy of a bitch ass fool is 79.
He explains that to one of the dudes. I don't know.
Yeah,
Really good
yeah,
series. All
that's a
right.
bit.
Well,
I heard about that bit.
let's wrap it up over here.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So that's this is an interesting one. So we wanted to do this for a while, and I'm glad we did. This is the first one in a long while. I mean, just a lot of changes going on around. So, sorry. Excuse us for life expectancy, but I'm glad we got this one out of the way, or not out of the way, but I'm glad we did another conspiracy theory because they're hella fun. They're just
Yeah.
as fun as like true crimes. 'Cause,
So I'm gonna make sure
you
I
know,
get as much information before I fucking lay it down out here.
yeah,
The whole Daniel Boone thing. Come on,
come on. But,
Daniel Boone.
yeah, this has been a fun one, really. You know, um,
Sweet man. Well, now you got SoCal and NorCal on this. Woo.
yeah, now we're combining. It's like two universes merging.
Bringing craft beer together.
Yeah,
Well,
pretty much.
hit the button. This has been Golden
This
Craftcast,
has
ladies
been
and
Golden
gentlemen.
Craftcast.
You can follow us on Instagram
IG.
at Golden Craftcast. Also on TikTok. We're on that shit now too.
Yep.
Haven't really posted that much, but hey, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, we got it all covered at the end, beginning and the end. So it's been a good one. I'm Sergio. That's Manny. This is
Yo.
Golden Craftcast.
Love, peace, degrees.
Yeah.